good afternoon. I'm pleased to be here today. Last year, I was honored to be in Colombia. And thanks, Dennis, for inviting me again. And thank you, Richard, too. And also thanks to ESARP. I think it is a great organization based on what I have seen so far today, and after listening to such wonderful and interesting experiences. I founded this school, which is called the Workshop. I started this as a program for learning English as a second language for children. But actually, my experience is one I gained as a teacher, as most of us here today. One day, however, I decided that I needed to do something different. I come from Mérida in the province of Yucatan, as shown by the yellow arrow in that peninsula there. Many people in Argentina spend their vacation in Playa del Carmen and Cancun. That's 3 hours away, so whichever you want to visit with us, we will be pleased to welcome you. My first experience as a graduate teacher many, many years ago consisted in teaching third graders, primary school, and I was very happy. It was a highly traditional and strict school, and I was told, Caty, you will have to go to classrooms that are on the rooftop. I had to climb some narrow stairs and go up to the roof, and I said, well, I hope that there won't be an earthquake here. I mean, how shall I bring 120 children down the stairs if an earthquake strikes? That was actually my concern. But at the end of the day, I was immensely happy on that rooftop. It did not shake. It shook because of everything we did, that for sure. First, I saw those 60 children sitting in rows, and I wondered what I would do with them, with those 60 students. And I said to myself, what shall I do? I went home pondering on it, and I got to school the next day, and I made circles of 10 children as if they were islands within the classroom. And the children, just by shifting the movement and the arrangement of the seats, that made a dramatic change. And that's how they learned all the courses that the school prescribed I should teach. But what do you think? I would not pay that much attention to what the curriculum said. I picked up whatever I thought would allow us to do something different. At the end of the day, what I wanted was that English as a second language would constitute a merry, joyful, flexible, resilient, kind learning for all of those children, and that we all would be happy. That was for 3 years until I moved to Mérida for family reasons. And I came in with my new methods. I looked for a job, and they would pay me $1 per hour. And I would say, well, what's this? I mean, I have 3 children. How come? I mean, how can I live on $1 an hour? But I stayed. I said, well, okay, let's start from scratch. 3 or 4 days later, I noticed that the director would watch my class at the door. At 40 degrees Celsius, the door open, and I said, well, why doesn't she move? I mean, she's blocking the breeze. But it so happened that she called me into her office and said, you are fired. And I said, okay, that's fine. And why is that? I mean, what are the reasons for my dismissal? Well, your way is not the way of working with children. You are supposed to teach, not to play, jump, sing, or paint. So I picked up my things, I left. And I said, well, okay, I won't run any risks again in this city where society is very traditional and the culture is very traditional and a little bit closed. And I said, okay, I'm going to start a school. And I undertook that action. I had a Volkswagen car. I sold it. Okay, then I said I will look for a venue, and this money would be sufficient to do so, and that was the case. I set up my school in that store, in that place, but these thoughts were actually in my mind, these main points. That children should learn differently, that there should be small groups, that there should be an active system and a different method. To me, the most important thing for this to be a reality was that children needed art, music, literature, audiovisuals, and technology. And I'm speaking of technology because back then I was the one to buy the first computers, maybe in Mexico, and play and play all over again. So let me show you what that place looked like. This is it. Uh, Back then there was the Grand Prix, and the winning car bore these colors, and I said, surely the children will love it. I was scared when I looked at it finished. It was all to red, but truly it was fascinating for them. In Merida, there was no red painted school. I started with 3 kids, and 8 months later, there were 200. So I said, well, I will have to move out from here. I mean, how shall I fit all those children in here? So I moved to this other facility. Here, I decided to change the school's image. A designer, a close friend of mine, said, well, okay, what idea do you have about your school? I explained it to her. I told her that it was based in constructivist theories, and therefore she used the colors that were in fashion at the time of constructivist thinkers. The hand that you can see there at the center is our school's logo to this date. And that represents the fact that children, throughout the learning process, would always use their hands, not just the mind, but also the hands. I was a teacher already at that school. We were engaging in a bird watching project. We would watch birds every morning, then the children would join the art shop, and we had a tree which we transformed into a bird hotel. Children said that birds also went on holiday and that they needed a very nice place to rest. So therefore we carried out this project. This tree was up there at the center of the schoolyard, interacting with the children for a long time. Here we started learning English. All this I'm telling you was in English. We started learning about the diversity of peoples and about self-scoring. Time went by, a long time went by, because as I was short of resources, just my income, I had to save penny after penny, and 14 years elapsed. And then I founded this school that you can see on screen. My children, Guillermo, Mayra, and Elisa, worked with me since they were very young, and they still work with me today at this school. It was wonderful to build this school based on the experience I had gained in the prior school. To me, the art shop was very important. It was at the core of our school. transparency, not feeling locked up, was yet another factor, and the fact that space should provoke and invite children and adults alike to interact among themselves on an ongoing basis. Every morning and every day, we would try to make this a welcoming space. Let me tell you today about some important aspects of the school environment. These are the most important elements of this experience, and together with the architects and my children, we therefore developed the space that I showed you in the previous picture. We ourselves designed it based on the theories that were being implemented and based on our experience. And we also developed a philosophy as time went by. I mean, these concepts were transparency, no walls, joy, harmony, identity, creativity, and so on. And we thought, and I still think today, that all these concepts are interrelated. I mean, you can have this wonderful space, but be chaotic. So it is necessary to develop this list here, with the pertinent skills. It is a process that is time-consuming. Children at our school, the first thing they learn is social interaction skills and human values. This is our school, seen from the inside. All the art works that you will see is the children's. They have done these works through collaborative effort. That's the workshop, which is at the heart of the school. That's why it is in the center of the building. It is a two-story building. In the ground floor, there's the pre-kinder and kinder, and then on the second floor, 1st to 5th grade. And then we have another building which is just like this one, but smaller. This cube shape, or this cube design, has allowed us to transform the environment in manifold approaches. There's hardly any furniture. Children hardly sit. In preschool, there are no chairs. And using the horizontal and vertical plane and this space in the center, all of this allows us to move in different directions and have color, light, transparency through the work done by the children. And teachers take great pride in this because it makes their effort visible. This has been done by the children, inspired by Caldric. This has been done by first graders. The design department that the school has, and an art culture director, this department together with the teachers are responsible for setting up artworks, the aesthetics of the school, and everything that is related to museum studies. This is a major area before climbing on to the second floor, and it's very versatile. It can be a market, a shoe shop, for role-playing purposes. So when they come in the morning, the school is a market, for example. This is the second floor. There we decided that they could look down so that they would always be interacting and watching each other. It's great fun for them to see what others are doing at school. These are aerial views of the shops. These paper birds are made by teachers every year, and they are bearing a symbol. I mean, they make promises to the school through these cranes. These were the starting points, that all children have a potential, that they need to develop their social skills and values since an early childhood, that they need to understand their social cultural identity and self-concept, and the environment needs to offer a sense of belonging, work collaboratively in long and short-term projects, and constantly engage in critical thinking through the use of technology, social problem solving, using technology, and that we be backed by a method and system and have continuous training, all of us working at the school. These are our values, and these are the skills that the children develop ever since pre-kinder, since they are a year and a half old. It's a lengthy process. Things don't happen overnight. It takes us 6-9 years to work on all these values and skills. One important project is this one. We have called it personal identity, I mean social, personal, and cultural identity. We have developed it at the school, and it's already been established for the development of these social skills. And also to promote the children's identity and have a self-concept, a clear self-concept. And when I know who I am, the least I want to resemble somebody else. These are two of our first graders dressed in their typical costumes. They wear them proudly whenever there is something to celebrate at school. This is a graphical representation. They represent the mestizo group. The girl says that women wear many necklaces so that men will turn their eyes to look at them. And in turn, men say, or the boys say, that they should treat women nicely so that they will pay heed to them. This is a city developed by the children. This is the central area surrounded by ancient historical buildings. This area we visit frequently. This is an example of our traditions on the Day of the Dead, celebrated throughout Mexico. Today, this celebration, this festivity has become World Heritage. You know, it is celebrated on 1st November. What does the art room mean? To us, it's like a lab, actually. That's where ideas are developed, which will then become a reality. That's where we develop creativity and critical thinking, where there's symbolic representations of the things we don't understand, where we use different tools and means, where you put into motion what you already know, what you have already learned. So it is a representation of knowledge. This is Anastasia painting her mom who is pregnant. They developed a project to work on how babies live inside the mother's womb, and they said some wonderful things about that. This is the end result. These children are from Kinder 1. This is yet another project called Looks. That is, we all have eyes, but we all see different things. And we also have different eyes. It has to do with your personal identity. And here you can see the children at work doing collaborative work. These murals are today shown on the school walls. They are part of our school identity. And they give the children a sense of belonging. Our methodological approach includes these 5 items: learner-centered, participatory, and what you saw on screen.
Todo el programa está basado en desarrollo sensorial y social. No hay otra cosa. Perdón. Este es un ambiente en la mañana que recibe a los niños para provocar curiosidad. Una clase de matemáticas.
Mathematics using weight. Here, practicing some engineering. They have to disassemble and assemble it again, although it might take very long days. They are primary grade. What is it that keeps us alive? Wanting to have some change, wanting to try to change attitude and our behavior, ours and the children's, being active and responsible, having the possibility to solve conflicts, having deep understanding, problem solving, and once again, developing critical thinking and creativity in children and also in ourselves. Sorry, we cannot hear from the booth. We cannot translate what the kids are saying. Okay, that project was about electricity, first grade. And this is a topic that comes from Cambridge books, taken from Cambridge books, which I love. Here we have some more kids from the second grade primary school, and this is another topic that is friction, force, balance, inertia. Those were the words that were used as part of that topic. They proposed to make a pendulum, and they look like big architects. And this is what they got, with their help of the whole school, even parents. They even got involved. The interest was so big that there were some families who donated the balls, others brought wood, maintenance teams helped them to assemble it, and it was a super great experience with this project. Here we have other kids also exploring sound, and they decided to make a xylophone. They created these songs and making this huge xylophone that is in kindergarten for everybody now, and pendulum also. Technology in primary school is guided with some guidance, and we use it as a work tool. We put a lot of emphasis here so that they use it properly. And many people, parents and technology experts, come to school to talk to the kids, to teach them how to use it properly in order to avoid risks, etc. And, well, we have a lot of care at school. These are little scientists. They wanted to create an arm, a robotic arm. This arm was meant for people who need an arm. Somebody who suffered an accident or underwent a very difficult situation and they lack an arm, one arm. It was great to listen to them, how they learned about the anatomy of the arm. They wanted to learn the anatomy of the whole body. Of course, we not only the arm, but the brain and what was the thing that moved the arms, that was the nerves, and they increased knowledge. They are very good readers also. And this ended up here with this. We are very proud of it. This year they want to program it with a computer. Since projects don't end there, you can keep on and on till you perfect it. These kids, they made a huge kaleidoscope with a bicycle wheel. By the end, all these practices with children, these are very active practices, and this leads us to global education. We firmly believe that this is what can lead society to change. If we base on values, the attitude of the children and teachers should change as well. And children take that culture to school, they take it back home, so there starts some wheel that starts changing things, interdependency, collaboration. This helps them have a positive attitude from one to the other, and they're always in an active learning process. As to reading at school, that is a very important tool. They learn quietly, and we learn how to feel happy when we learn. The joy of reading, not so much reading in itself. They don't need to read when they are 4 or 6. They will read when they need to read, just gradually, little by little. And here I brought a reader to you. She's looking for the rabbit at the back of the book. This is the number of books that we read spontaneously. This is great. We have a record in our library, and there's always a fair, a book fair, and there's some great exchange where everybody takes the books that they have already read, and we organize a kind of fair, kindergarten, and we exchange all those books. This doesn't mean that when they go to higher grades, they don't feel like reading, but the books are bigger, many more pages, and maybe they prefer the little kids' books. And, well, time goes by, keeps going back at school, and many years later, this building got built. back in 2015. This is the 6th to 9th grades building. So we went back, starting on the same points, or from the same points, taking into account pre-teenagers and teenagers, and also the proposals by them, the teenagers themselves, on how they wanted the school to look like. All those who are part of the school, this is what keeps us alive. These points that are our philosophy or educational proposal, we want to make sure they are constantly active. We don't want to get into the comfort zone, to stay there just happy in our comfort zone. But we want to make sure we are making progress along the time and having a look at what is happening in society and out there in the world. This is the door, the gate to the main building. No rooms, no classrooms. I think there are 4 classrooms. But they are rectifying things, and after that, they start working on themselves, by themselves. This is the front part, the lab, the biology lab, and technological workshop. They do programming, robotics, and all these things related to technology. This is our main area. The day I opened that room, I said, okay, let's see what happens here on the very first day. And it was quite interesting to see the reaction. They sat down, looking at everything. They watched for a long time, and gradually they started standing up. And we gave them some training for a couple of days on what we expected from them and how they would use technology. Because here, all kids, 100 of them, this year, 100, everybody has an iPad, but that's not the only thing they use. That's important to say. These are the school corners, different rooms. Since we were on vacation, I took photos without the kids so that you could have a look at them. Also, you have the option to go out to the cafeteria, to the garden, whatever you want to. But you can do whatever you need to do. There's a due date. Definitely, we need a system that supports the whole method. But if you don't want to do it throughout the 15 allocated days, or you prefer to do it just the day before, that's your problem. Up to you. But you have to perform within standards. You cannot be interrupting everybody's work. So this is a way to practice all these social skills. That's the library and different corners. You see here the art kids are making. That's stairs. If you sit down on wood, this means maybe you're going to have a chat or read. And we use the part of the stairs that is not wood. We also have meetings there, conferences, flexible space. We love it because they can turn into many things. There are some girls here who are about to have a performance to promote human values with all the kids at school. You see them here. These 2 kids are the superheroes who created these characters to visit the primary area and kinder area to talk to the kids about their social skills, being kind, respectful, and all these things. They are in they are third year high school. Art, still there. This is French. The school works with French Alianza Francesa. They have an agreement with them, and they have a good relationship with us, and we have a good relationship with the French people. We are making a good team. They are leaving paintings, so leaving art. This is a French week at school. That's mathematics, cross-functional activity. They learned about history of mosaic, where they come from. Most schools in Yucatan, you can find these kinds of mosaics. And through geometry and art, they organized the most incredible designs of mosaics. They visited factories even. See here, Andrea, she got an award in Barcelona with this machine that feeds dogs on the street. They collect PET bottles, they recycle plastic, and they feed the dogs by means of that system. We had the idea to develop this prototype, and that's how we did it. And they were the winners of the award. They went to Barcelona, very happy. They are 8th and 9th children creating robots to help or support some causes. This robot in water, the one on the right, they said that people usually leave trash behind on the beach. And this robot was meant to, they put it in the water, in seawater, and it goes wherever you are so that you don't need to get out of the water and throw water away out there in the sea. They're really successful at this, at what they do, and they feel happy doing it. More people, they created a different one for PET bottles so that you don't need to say there's no way whether to get rid of them, to dispose of them. And the robot gets to you while you're taking sun so that you don't throw it away on the beach. And, well, many chats, conversations, positive interactions take place among the different kids. And this space turns into theater almost. Very flexible. You can move furniture in just 1 hour and you turn it into a different thing, the whole school. Okay, what have we learned? 30 years of work. Observation, continuous evaluation of all those things that we say we have achieved. The importance to give teachers and children the support they need so that they feel an interactive group with values and social skills. We make sure that organization and collaboration help us succeed. The program also always needs continuity. Time and flexibility are the most important point when planning. And all participants always think why and what for. We are doing what we are thinking about doing at that time. Everything is possible when you have a method and a system that supports that method. Sorry, we cannot get the sound into the booth to translate.
francés.
He's French. He's Santino. He graduated this year with that analysis before leaving high school. We asked them to analyze the takeaways, what they take from school and the whole experience. So this is all I wanted to share with you. It's very difficult to speak about so many years of history in a short time, but this is what happens every day in our workshop, and I feel very happy to have these experiences. Thank you.